Hello, this is an introduction to the first project we'll be working on this course, which is a poster that talks about the 24 rules of type. Um, I'm going to just briefly go over the project, and there will be a second micro lecture that talks about creating grids in both Illustrator and InDesign. A lot of projects that you'll work on from here on out, and I can say this about my courses, Professor Nelson and Professor Giraldo might have different expectations, but a lot of these projects I'm going to sort of allow you to use a choice, and those choices are usually going to be Illustrator and Photoshop, or sorry, Illustrator and InDesign, especially when we're dealing with a lot of text. But some cases I will say you just can use InDesign. In some cases I might say you can just use Illustrator. But this project is type heavy because we are in a type class, but you can definitely use Illustrator or InDesign depending on which one you're more comfortable with. I would always challenge you to use the one that you're not comfortable with, because the best way to learn software in my mind is to use it, sort of force yourself to use it. But basically what you're going to be creating is a poster about the 24 rules of typography. This will be very type heavy, but also focus heavily on grid. And then, see how you kind of creative you can be given a particular document and a set of words. So also make sure to understand the rules. It's really important to know some of the typographic rules. So I think it's a good way to sort of learn those rules is also to have to, use them in a project. So all of the text is included in this document. I won't download it here, but you can go ahead and download it. It's just a Word document. So download this. This is what you'll be using. You can just copy and paste it into Illustrator or InDesign. The poster should be set up at 20 inches wide by 24 inches tall, so it will be portrait orientation. You have to use a modular grid. I'm not going to tell you necessarily which one to use, but you should look at the text, look at the examples, and then figure out yourself what kind of modular grid you want to set up, considering margins, columns, all that kind of thing. You should set up your file in CMYK color mode because it is something that would be printed if you were doing this sort of in the professional world. And there should be no other imagery. So this should just be the type. You can use shape, so you can use lines or dots or, rectangular elements. As you'll see here in these examples, some people kind of did these big drop shadows using lines to set things up. In some cases, this little fun sort of striped area, but no matter what, the type should be the hero. And as you can see in all of these instances, you can really see the look of that modular grid. You want to make sure to have a sense of typographic hierarchy. Obviously, you have a headline, which is 24 rules of typography, and then you have the rules themselves. So how can you successfully bring hierarchy into this? How can you use contrast, weight, size, scale, all those different things you've been learning about in previous classes into your poster? You'll start this process the same way we start all the other projects, with sketches. We'll have initial layouts and then a progress critique until these are finished. So make sure you check out the schedule. But again, I will be posting another lecture about setting up modular grids in both InDesign and Illustrator. But this is just sort of a brief overview of the project. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me via email.